Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 5. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Oh, yeah.
As usual.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Monday.
Well, no, before that. So now you're not talking in podcast.
Hey, guess what? Monday was Molly's birthday.
Yes. For those of you who don't, this is coming out way after this.
It's coming out 2 weeks later. But
Yeah, my birthday is June 2nd. Yeah. But I didn't see Mike for a long time before that.
Because she was busy hanging out with the traitors, the British and the French.
I was frolicking, living my Monte Carlo fantasy.
In the UK.
And in the UK I was too. Anyway, what's up, you guys? We're back. It's episode 5. I think that's kind of crazy.
Woo!
I did not think we would be here in the sense where...
I can still count that on my fingers. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah! That's crazy. I'm just so shook that we're here. You know what I mean? I'm really happy. We're kind of awesome. We kind of did that. And we're going to continue to do that.
That Spotlight episode was pretty cool.
It really was. Michael, if you're out there, we love you still.
However, this episode's not about him.
I know.
We did give him 2 episodes.
We did. We kind of did that. So now you have to come on the show. If you're listening still.
Yeah. Also, fix my Amazon order for your vinyl. I got a David Bowie album instead, and I returned it.
So, Mike, you want to start us off with your center stage?
My center stage?
Stage? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's what it meant. That's what it, yep.
I would love to start with center stage.
Cool.
My first one, the Wicked for Good trailer came out.
Yes!
And I kind of want to see a second trailer, but I am still excited for it. They intentionally left this one feeling a little bit empty, but it's like just to tease what's coming.
I do think for the people that know what happens in the second half, you can see stuff. Like, if you really want to deep dive and, like, look at, like, every shot, you can be like, oh, that person's wearing the same thing as this person in this shot. Ooh, maybe they're the same person. Like, you can totally do that. You're welcome, guys.
I know who 2 characters' fates are.
Yeah.
That aren't the main ones. They're
Yeah.
supporting.
But I think if you're just like, ooh, I like Wicked, haha, I want to see the second one, it's like, okay.
The biggest thing for me, I want to see how they make Nessa walk, because that actress is actually paralyzed.
Yes. I want to see that too. And how she felt about the whole process and everything.
I am looking forward to No Good Deed. They did the one riff opening for that.
Yep.
With Elphaba towards the beginning, and I was like, dang, I forgot she's gonna rip that one.
Mm-hmm.
And As Long as You're Mine with Fiyero.
This is like a really silly thing, but I love the outfits again.
Yeah.
So good.
Production design and costume design are really good.
Yep.
I forget who's the costume designer, but...
He got an Oscar for the first one.
Yes, he did. I forget his name, but I do know that he won the Oscar.
If you're out there, we love you. Okay.
Yeah. They did a good job at making the trailer feel super serious. Number 2, Nine Inch Nails announced the first ever Composer Festival,
Whoa.
including, but not limited to, Danny Elfman.
King. I've been in the same room as him, guys. Fun fact.
Word.
Yep.
Hildur Guðnadóttir.
Whoa.
No comment on who that is right now.
You're gonna hear me butcher that name later. Thank you.
John Carpenter. He did Halloween and The Thing horror movies,
Cool.
but he did the music for them too.
Okay.
Kyle Dixon and Matthew Stein. They're the composers for Stranger Things.
Whoa.
And then Mark Mothersbaugh. He did Thor Ragnarok and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Period.
And Speed Racer, like I mentioned in episode 3.
Let's go. Call back.
And
to
then
the
Trent
episodes.
Reznor and Atticus Ross, who
Cool.
are Nine Inch Nails. But yeah,
Wait, didn't they do Challengers?
they did. And they did Soul and The Social Network.
Cool. Shout out Challengers. We haven't talked about Challengers at all.
You don't want me to.
I actually would love to hear your thoughts. I don't love it. Me and a bestie share a love for the music in that. Anyway.
And then my third center stage, because it's related to the second, the Stranger Things 5 release dates were announced.
Oh, really? When are they, Mike?
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve.
Why?
They're releasing it in 3 parts because it's 8 episodes, but they're all like movie length because there's so much story to tell.
I hate that they're Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve.
I love it because that means I don't have to be at work and I can just do it.
True. But I just don't like when you're just, like, supposed to be celebrating something else and then you're gonna, like, I'm not gonna want to watch. Well, I don't watch Stranger Things, so I actually don't think I
How dare
deserve to
you.
have
You would
an
love it.
opinion. The guy from Twilight's in it, which I will
one?
talk about in one of my center stages.
Which one?
One of them. He plays, like, the dude that, like, turns into the thing. Vecna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is in that. I forgot about that. He's also in Sweeney Todd. So.
Yeah, but he wasn't really good in that. So
How dare you?
you take any Broadway singer and have him sing Joanna instead, it would be 10 times better than him in the movie, and I stand by that.
I love that movie.
I'm not saying that it's not a good movie. I'm just saying that honestly I have a lot more thoughts, and the movie is fine. Honestly, it could have been better, but I know it's because of Tim Burton. So, okay.
I just like it because it's creepy.
I support you in
And
that.
the music is good. But
Oh, so good. But if you like the movie because of that, have you ever seen the show in person?
no.
I think you'll like the show way better. I think you'll like it much more.
I'll
Because the
give,
music is much better in person.
I'll just give Tim Burton my love anyway. That was my 3 center stations.
Cool. Well, I'm going to start with my biggest update, and dare I say the most important one first, that we all know, will know, or have known already, at least by now.
8 p.m. tonight.
No.
Oh.
That's in an hour. Oh my gosh, that's a different one. We'll talk about it in a second.
God.
Taylor Swift bought back her masters for $360 million.
I also have that burning a hole in my pocket.
I just like, period. Queen, awesome, go off. And I love it. And she said in a letter that she finished recording Debut already, didn't know if she wanted to release it now, and then didn't even record half of Reputation, but does have vault tracks for that. And I support her in not releasing Reputation at all. Maybe Debut if she wants. And Reputation vault tracks would be cool, but they're from a time of her life that she really doesn't want to remember anymore because they're about a certain person that's not Travis. And I support her for wanting to buy back all her music instead of recording Reputation. But also it's because she wanted to own her music, like, period.
Yeah. Also, when the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, I was stunned that they stayed together.
I heard someone say that if they stay together after this, then we know that their love is, like, real because they're getting through, like, the hard
tough times.
Yeah, the hard times.
Oh my
because they
God.
had really big successes, so they're like, will they stay together once we have a big they have a big loss?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. So we love you, Taylor, so much.
I respect Taylor.
We'll get you there, Mike. Addison Rae, her new album titled Addison comes out tomorrow, so it will already be out.
Don't you hate that woman?
Honestly, I want to hear it.
So you can say I still hate this woman?
Maybe. In less than an hour, Sabrina Carpenter's new song Man-Child comes out. I think she's headlining a festival this weekend, so it makes sense that she has a little something.
Yeah.
She's doing a couple. I didn't think she was for some reason, so I'm excited to see her again. I don't think I've talked about him on the podcast. I did try and show you him once here.
Who?
His name is Hobo Johnson.
You've shown me.
Yeah. He apparently came out with a new album. I know
Word.
nothing about it. I just know that he did. So maybe I'll listen to it. Maybe I won't. We'll find out. And then Conan Gray. I also don't think I've talked about him on this podcast. I actually like him a lot. Apparently he is coming out with more music right now. So maybe I'll get back into that.
I only know one song by him.
Is it Maniac?
No.
Oh, what song is
And something about movies.
it? Oh.
Which would make sense. It is Movies by Conan Gray.
Movies. Wow. Is it?
It's from the same album as Memories and
Okay.
People Watching.
Yeah. A couple years ago then. Yeah. I haven't listened to him in a while. I know some of his older stuff, so I might listen to it. I might not. Obviously, you guys will be updated next time. My last piece of news, I just wanted to say that so far on SZA's and Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour, SZA brought out Lizzo, Justin Bieber, and Doja Cat so far. Iconic. Not in the same night. That would go crazy. I found out 2 hours ago, apparently Tom Felton
Fucking Mudblood.
is reprising his role as Draco Malfoy.
You might want to re-record that.
No, I'm keeping that in. Reprising his role as Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I support him, and I saw some photos, and he looks scary, and I hope he has fun. And I hope
I hope he has the slicked hair like when he was 7.
Yes, and I hope that
Well, he was like 11 in the first movie, but...
I hope he gets the audience that he deserves. My last piece of news is movie news. I just wanted to give you guys a public service announcement. If you have Netflix, all of the Twilights will be off of Netflix on June 30th. So by the time you're listening to this, you still have time. You're welcome. I don't know where they're going. I feel like they just got on there, but no, that they're leaving.
How sad.
I know.
The audience can't see how deadpan that was.
You've seen Twilight?
No. And do not assign me.
Might.
If you assign them, I will say bad things.
I wouldn't assign it for you because it's a good movie. I would assign it for you so that I know that you have seen it. I don't think they're groundbreaking at all. So you should be relieved. I'm not going to assign it to you. Alright. Mike, what have you been listening to so far? It's been so long.
Recently? I know, it's been like 4 weeks since we last recorded. Recently, I've been re-listening to SOS Deluxe Lana by SZA.
Wow.
And I forgot how good it is.
I heard Scorsese Baby Daddy a couple of days ago, and
It's
I liked
so
it.
good.
So I might be getting on that bandwagon
That's
soon.
a movie reference. Martin Scorsese.
Well, I knew that. I knew his last
Very
name.
famous director.
Whoa.
One of your now dig on this may be influenced by that. But we'll see.
Two.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Besides listening to SZA, I've been re-listening to music that I used for a design project.
Ooh. Cool.
Like Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's, What a Fool Believes. Those are just 2 songs
Bangers.
from the selection, but they are good and I enjoyed them. What have you been listening to or watching recently besides the review?
So we kind of already touched on it. I went to France and England,
Bonjour!
and also England. That was wild. So I obviously listened to the Monte Carlo soundtrack beforehand and while I was there. So that was really awesome. Right before I left, for some reason I felt compelled to listen to the entirety of The Secret of Us album by Gracie Abrams that came out last year. I actually kind of enjoyed it, even though I think some of her stuff still sounds the same. I really liked it. And I listened to I Said I Love You First, that new album by Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, and I liked it way more than I did a month ago. Exponentially more. Does not mean that I think it's groundbreaking. I don't think it deserves a Grammy. I think it deserves hype and TikTok videos, and I'm not going to make Mike listen to it, but I like it a lot more than I did. And some songs really stand out and make me feel happy and very sad. So that was cool. I listened to both of those albums a lot on the plane. Some one-off songs I really enjoyed other than that were America Has a Problem by Beyonce, Be Sweet by Japanese Breakfast, and a couple more that I think I'm going to save for One Song Spotlights. And then when I came back from France less than a week ago, I feel like I've been listening to so much music while also not listening to any, but I ended up listening to Miley Cyrus's new album, Something Beautiful, in its entirety. I've only listened to it one time. My one-word review of this album is, alright. Today, I voluntarily listened to Antisocial Lights.
Word.
Yeah, I listened to...
That means I had a positive influence on Molly.
Yeah.
How about that?
I
That's the first one.
Yes. No. Fuck. I listened to Dreams Tonight and Plimsoll Punks on my own, but
Vibe.
this is the first time that I voluntarily wanted to listen to the album start to finish, just like vibing. The last thing I had to say is just I haven't listened to Mayhem by Gaga in so long, and I realized that a couple of days ago. So this all might get put on pause so I can listen to that over and over and
Hang
over
on.
again.
Molly listened to Zombie Boy at a very large waterfall.
True. With Mike.
She also listened to Sing from Sesame Disco.
So good, guys. Holy shit. So good. So
And
good.
then, for her birthday, our friends and I got her a custom vinyl
Super
with
cool.
Making Light from Monte Carlo on it.
Yes, super cool. They're very good friends.
Yeah.
Zombie Boy was kind of wild listening to that in nature. I wanted to stand up and shake my ass, but I couldn't. We were in lawn chairs, just like...
Arguably you could, but public would not be enthralled by
It
that.
was just not the place, but it was Zombie Boy.
Free will, what is the right place?
True. Anyway, that's all the music I've listened to. As for movies, and I'm putting in TV shows in here because I officially finished The Handmaid's Tale in its entirety, and I'm pretty pleased with the outcome. And that's all I'm gonna say. I say that everyone should go watch it. On the way to France, on the flight there, we left 9 p.m. New York time, but we landed at 11 a.m. France time.
Brutal.
So my family's plan was to sleep, because it was a 7-hour flight, right? But I could not sleep, so instead I watched, in this order, Hunger Games Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1, and then half of Part 2. And then on the way back, it was during the day, I ended up watching the first Hunger Games, and then Mockingjay Part 2. I don't know why. That's just what I did.
Catching Fire is the best one. There's a movie trivia bit in there.
Really? What is it?
When she's in the elevator, the ratio changes from standard widescreen to IMAX as it goes up.
That's so cool! Whoa.
And it's one of the cleanest film transitions ever. And it's awesome.
Dude, let's go. That is so cool. I don't know why. I might even watch them again this week. When I get
Not
into
Ready
them,
Player One?
oh my god, I watched that like 4 times in a row. That was insane. And I'll do it again, judge me. But that's how I am with like dystopian movies especially. I'll do it with Divergent with just the first movie. So, But other than that, I watched Tar, and I decided that I'm not watching the Lilo and Stitch live action anymore because I heard that they ruined it.
They did. We won't get into it for those that want to see it but haven't.
And then when I was in London, my sister and I visited the Harry Potter Studios tour. That was my 3rd time going. If you saw on our Instagram stories, I took some video, but I could post more. But it was really cool. That was my 3rd time going, so I knew a lot. It was mainly for my sister who had never been, and she was like freaking out, as she should have been. Period. Justified. It was really awesome. You ready to get to our top 5s?
Yes.
So just a reminder, we rank different topics / categories each week. And if you message us or comment on a post anywhere with a topic, we might rank that topic. So let us know. We don't have to keep making these up by ourselves if you guys want to have some input. This week's top 5 is
Classic rock.
I'm going to have Mike go first because he has 3 honorable mentions and I only have 1 because my top spot was just defeated because Greta Van Fleet is not classic rock. And I agree with you. I kind of wish that we went broader. But when I told my dad that was my top, he was like, that's not classic rock! And you're so right. And it's
Your
fine.
dad's right.
I know. I do want to say, I feel like this is the first top 5 where, in the nicest way possible, I don't think there's anything that Mike's going to say that's going to offend me. I'll be a little upset if he doesn't mention Queen, but then again, I'll understand, kind of. Like, I'm not going to die on that hill. So I'm pretty calm right now, because rock is cool, classic rock is fun. It's not 100% my vibe, so, I mean, no.
If I told you I have a 40-hour playlist saved on my Spotify, would that say anything?
I wouldn't say it's not my vibe, I just mean, like, it's, like, one of my many vibes, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Okay, who are your first 2 honorable mentions, Mike?
My first honorable mention is Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Cool.
Sweet Home Alabama, Freebird, Tuesday's Gone, all winners.
I know 2 out of 3 of those.
Which ones?
Freebird. And then Sweet Home.
Tuesday's Gone is the opening song for Happy Gilmore.
Never seen that movie.
Shame!
Sorry.
My second honorable mention is Styx.
Cool.
Mr. Roboto and Renegade. And they did Come Sail Away.
Come sail away with me. See, I know these songs. Let's go.
So, what's your honorable mention?
I do want to mention, actually, one more thing before I begin.
What?
Is that for most of the groups I'm about to mention right now, I probably have only heard either their greatest hits or 1 album. And even for my honorable mention, I've only heard like 3 songs. I can give you 1. And that's it. But I wanted to mention them because they have a roller coaster about them for now. So my first honorable mention, or my only honorable mention, is Aerosmith. Just because their music slaps on that ride.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, please don't be mad at me.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Guess what?
What?
My anticlimactic third honorable mention is Aerosmith.
Yes! Let's go!
Dream On.
Yes!
There's many more. Living on the Edge.
What's one that I'm thinking
Sweet
of?
Emotion.
Yes, that one slaps.
Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon.
Yes. Wow.
All winners.
You walk this way. There we go.
That one too.
It's-
their collaboration with Run DMC is also very good.
Cool. Let's go.
90s hip hop band.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yay.
You ready for the top 5?
Yeah. You want to go first?
No.
Okay, I'll go first. I've actually been to one of their concerts and listened to albums in preparation for this concert because I'm a good friend. My fifth artist is Grateful Dead.
Word. Box of Rain.
When I was at the concert, they recorded it, and then my friend found the recording, and so I have on my phone like the live recording from that concert. And I saved Sugar Magnolia, Friend of the Devil, and Playing in the Band.
Word.
And yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about any of these. They're super cool. I mean, I wouldn't mention them if they weren't, so you should go listen.
My
yeah.
friend and his mom are Deadheads.
Let's go.
My number 5, the Doobie Brothers.
Are they considered rock?
They're considered classic rock.
Okay. The main reason why I didn't mention them at all is because I know 2 songs by them. I did want to say that. What a Fool Believes is a great song.
The entirety of the album, minute by minute, rules. Also, Long Train Runnin', also a very good song by them.
Let's go.
Pretty sure it was in Muppets 2011.
Cool.
What's your number 4?
My number 4, shout out to my dad. He loves this band, and the main guy in it, you all know him as the king who wrote the soundtrack for Tarzan in 6 different languages. I got Genesis
Nice.
as my number 4. I've heard quite a few of their songs. Of course, I can't think of any right now other than one. My favorite song by them has got to be That's All. I think that if I were to
What?
ever go and get in a fight with someone, I'd play that song to hype me up. I don't know why, and I'm not necessarily a violent person, but that song slaps.
You haven't heard Invisible Touch? That's their number 1 song.
Shit. Oh, yeah. Yes, I've heard that song. They're awesome, but I didn't realize that Phil Collins and Genesis were 2 different things until I found That's All and wanted to put it on my phone. And Google was like, that's not Phil Collins, that's Genesis. And I was like, Google's a fucking liar right now. And that's when I learned. So, that's my number 4. They're cool.
Cool.
Who's your number 4, Mike?
My number 4 is AC/DC.
I just equate them with Iron Man.
Yeah.
In the best way.
Shoot to Thrill is like the big one, because that was the opening of Iron Man 2 with him. Thunderstruck.
Yes.
Listened to that while I was working on my car last weekend, and I was fucking hyped up.
I've done the Cotton Eye Joe to that song. Slaps.
Long Way to the Top, featured in School of Rock.
Let's go.
Highway to Hell, Common. TNT, Common. You Shook Me All Night Long, kinda common.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my number 4.
Nice. Wow, we're already at top 3. That's crazy. I did get a spoiler from Mike earlier in the week, and he said that this artist isn't even being talked about by him. My number 3 is the Beatles. When I actually think of my top 2 and 3, I don't think of them as classic rock. I know, I even learned about Beatles in multiple music classes. I know that that's mainly like the genre that they're in, but I don't think of them like that. And I just visited Abbey Road like less than a week ago, and their music is so cool, and they're such cute little British guys, and their music is so different, and I like it. So I wanted them to be represented, even though I don't think their music fully fits into the genre.
Which part of their music do you like most? Because they turn psychedelic hard.
Yeah, I like most of that stuff later on. I don't like.
But like Twist and Shout is from their debut album, I'm pretty sure.
True, that's a good song.
My number 3 is Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
Immigrant Song, made popular recently by Thor Ragnarok. Whole Lot of Love, Stairway to Heaven, Ramble On, Black Dog, all winners.
Nice.
If I had to pick one, I would have to say Ramble On is my favorite.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Is Led Zeppelin a person?
it's a band.
Cool. I feel like this is a good genre that a lot of these groups, they have absolute bangers. I feel like also we're not saying any group that is not really well known. So if you don't know some of these songs and you
Get on it.
think that you like this genre, you probably know what these songs are. If that made sense.
Also,
hope that did.
get on it.
Yeah. Get down on it. You be.
What's your number 2?
I already said this, I don't think that they're a classic rock band, but Google and a whole bunch of other websites and websites Mike sent me said that they are. I said Fleetwood Mac. I wanted them to be represented. I think their music is great. Like, not thinking about rock, I think their music is great. Let's give some examples. I was first really introduced to Fleetwood Mac, or like I really cared about who they were when I heard,
when that guy was longboarding with his ocean spray.
it was when, do you know what Rock Band is?
Yes.
So I didn't know what that was. I only knew what Guitar Hero was. And then I go to college, and freshman year, someone's playing that in their dorm. And a Queen I know sang "You Make Lovin' Fun." And I remember being like, that song is amazing. That melody is so in my range. It was so good. And I loved it. And I love that song. And I feel like if I could roller skate in general, but also out in public, that song would be blasting. And I would be walking to the beat of the song. Rolling to the beat of the song. Oh my god, so good. But they got Landslide, they got I Don't Want to Know, they got Little Lies, they got Gold Dust Woman, period. And the show, Daisy Jones and the Six, was heavily inspired by them. And that is a great show that came out with a whole bunch of new songs that sound a lot like them, but that aren't, and they're very good too. You're welcome.
My top 3 songs by them would have to be Don't Stop, The Chain, and Everywhere.
So do you agree with, like, do you respect my decision to put them on this list, or what's...
Yeah, they're classic rock. It's just not on mine.
Oh, okay. Cool. Like, I can't tell. You're sassy today.
No, I'm not.
If you are.
Oh, God.
You looked at me like it was like a bad idea to have them on there. I was like, oh, no.
I looked at you like that because they're not on my list at all.
Damn. That's okay. See, and I support you in that.
Yeah. You ready for my number 2?
Always.
My number 2 is Queen.
Let's go.
They're
you
not.
had me nervous.
They're not
for a
number
second.
1 though.
That's fine. They wouldn't have been number 1 if I had Greta Van Fleet on there. And that's just only because Greta Van Fleet is still here and making music. Love you, Queen. Brian May, you're number 1 in my heart.
But like Bohemian Rhapsody,
Duh.
never change. Don't Stop Me Now, Under Pressure, Another One Bites the Dust, We Will Rock You, Somebody to Love,
Radio
Killer
Gaga.
Queen,
Oh.
Radio Gaga, We Are the Champions, Now I'm Here,
Dude, good old fashioned lover boy. Sorry, I'll say that later.
Crazy Little Thing Called Love,
Can't you're stealing all my you're stealing.
Bicycle Race,
I need to have something to talk
Fat
about.
Bottom Girls.
Cool.
What?
I need to have something to say later. You just took...
So sorry. I did not name all the songs, you know.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at a list, and if you don't know these ones, I could be kind of upset, but we'll see. Yeah, Queen is really, really good. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Queen, Mike. I love them. I love their vibe. I watch Live Aid at least once a month. It's so good. Radio Gaga is like a fine song. It's like, okay. But the Live Aid performance is just unmatched. Like, the energy in there is crazy. I love Brian May, as we know. How many times can I say Brian May? Brian May. Huh. Okay. And yeah, Mike already listed off some really good songs. One of my favorites is Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy. Shout out to my friends, You Know Who You Are. Some of my friends in high school showed that song to me, and that was like our anthem for the longest time. And that same friend group went to see the movie. I think we saw it at least twice. Maybe even 3 times. For some reason, I really liked it. I don't know. Let me live my truth. Rami Malek, my Egyptian king. I supported him in getting that role. And I think the dude that played Brian May in the movie looked just like him when he was that age. So that I thought was crazy. And I know that that's not like the criteria for making a good movie. Like, I get it. So
The guy that played Deacon is the little boy from Jurassic Park.
I'm gonna try and think of some other songs by Queen.
I've got a few.
I got Now I'm Here. I like that song a lot. Cool Cat. That has become really popular on TikTok recently. Ooh, Keep Yourself Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Keep Yourself Alive. Love of My Life. That's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
Save Me. That's a good song. Play the Game. Flash. 7 Seas of Rye. I also did a...
Brighton Rock.
Where's yesterday? Oh, Hammer to Fall. That's a good song. Doing All Right by the original band Smile. I also really enjoyed.
Yes.
And I would not have known that song if it wasn't in that movie that I did see. So even though you don't like the movie, I thank the movie for that. And then in college, I ended up doing I don't know how much I don't think I've talked about it that much on the podcast, but I am a dancer. Specifically, I like tap a lot, rhythm, very fun. And my first semester in college, I joined a dance club. And I taught at least 10 people a intermediate tap dance too. Another One Bites the Dust. It slapped. It was so good. It was the only tap dance in the recital. And it was awesome. And COVID happened, so. But then I went back and did other stuff. I'm not gonna mention that.
Cool, tragic, then cool again.
Yep. So, love Queen. They're cool and British. Can't go wrong. Yeah. Who's your number one, Mike? I'm actually like, I don't even think I could like think of who your number one could be.
My number one is Electric Light Orchestra. They
Nice.
did Mr. Blue Sky.
Yep, that's the only song I know by them. That's a lie.
Don't Bring Me Down.
Living Thing.
Living Thing.
That's them. Yes.
Living
Thing slaps.
Don't Bring Me Down. Living Thing. Hold On Tight. Strange Magic, which they did a cover for in Ella Enchanted, which
Turn to
is
stone. Turn to stone.
Evil Woman. That song is also really good. But Mr. Blue Sky is their only song with 1 billion streams on Spotify.
It's my mom's favorite song. Shout out, Mom.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I support you in that. The only reason why they're not on my list is because I've only heard 3 of their songs. Now, I love those 3 songs, but I just don't think that means that they should be on there. Does that make sense? They would have
Yeah.
been. So, cool.
They also did the soundtrack for Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John. And the song Xanadu is really good.
Well, honestly, I'm happy how this turned out.
True.
I'm proud of myself for knowing every single one of your...
Artists.
Yep.
Cool.
So, not that I...
Feels good.
Yeah. And some of the songs you mentioned too, so I'm not that lost. So now it's time for us. Now it's time for Silly Songs with Larry, the part of the show where Larry comes out and sings a silly song. We're going to do our reports now, but Mike and I are going to do 1 round of rock, paper, scissors to discover which one of us is going to talk first. The winner goes second. The loser starts now. Ready? Fun. So as we know, I was assigned by Mike the movie Tar. Now, I actually watched it last night, so a lot of my thoughts are very fresh.
Good.
But in the nicest way possible. Most of them are not going to change. In order to be more clear about what I am given for an assignment, I made a couple of categories to easily break down what I have learned and what my thoughts are. So the first category is mini plot, because I feel like that would be good for you guys to understand kind of what I watched without watching a 2-hour and 38 long movie. So this movie is a psychological drama that came out in 2022. Directed, written, and produced by Todd Field. No idea who that is, but I support you, Todd.
You do know who he is, I told you.
Oh, I do?
He co-created Big League Chew.
Oh, Field, yes. And with the music composer being Hildur Gunnadóttir.
She did the first and second Joker movie.
I actually had that written down. Tar is the last name of the main character, Lydia Tar, played by Cate Blanchett. Lydia is a famous, world-renowned conductor that also has an EGOT. She's done so many things that you find out about in the first 40 minutes of the movie. She also has a wife who is up there also in skills, and she's also in the music world who plays violin as well. And they both have a 6-year-old daughter named Petra. They both live in an apartment in Berlin for most of the movie, but Lydia has a second place that she used to live before she got her money, and now she uses that for like practicing and rehearsals with students. And I thought it was interesting that it takes place after the pandemic, and it's mentioned in the movie that it is. And I was like, that's kind of cool, because I was like,
it was
wow.
also in like the middle of Omicron. The Omicron era of COVID.
Oh, wow.
Because it's 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too far after. It's I actually think it's like the first movie I've seen that was like this happened. So that was cool. So in the movie, Lydia is about to conduct the Berlin Orchestra in a live recording of Gustav Mahler's Fifth Symphony. In an interview at the beginning of the movie, she's basically saying that she's collecting Mahler's symphonies like Infinity Stones, and this one would be the last one. It's very difficult, very big, and would really solidify her in being a super cool, awesome composer. Although if you're an EGOT, you gotta already be one, but okay. It's clear that she wants to be the best in her field, and in my opinion, she's very egotistical, while also being fully aware of that and not caring, while also trying to care, if that made sense. Now to get into the actual drama of it all. Long story short, she basically probably did something weird with a minor. That trigger warning led this student to commit suicide, kind of sort of in the beginning of the movie. Throughout the movie, we still don't really know if she was hallucinating or having nightmares or what, but she definitely was anxious about something.
She was, well...
I'll talk more about it. But
Okay.
yeah, I noticed right away that she didn't like ticking sounds or like one note like beeps. And she would wake up to those things or like stop those things throughout the movie. Like this dude, my guy Max, was like taking his leg and she was like, stop it. And she like slapped him. Kind of crazy. But throughout the movie, you could see this student, the one that committed suicide, her name was Krista, and you would see her in like flashbacks or in the room with her or like weird stuff from Kate's point of view. It was never really confirmed if she was like having nightmares or if she was hallucinating, but I found something out later that I'm gonna choose that that's what the case is. Towards the end of the movie, when word was going around that she could have been a predator, stuff spiraled with her wife that was also watching her as she became close with a young newcomer to the orchestra. She ended up losing her wife.
Francesca.
Yeah. I'm talking about Olga.
And Francesca.
Yeah. True.
She got a weird dynamic with her assistant.
Yep. She ended up losing her wife, kid, and Spot in the Berlin Orchestra, and some other dude ended up doing that song instead.
She had to crash out.
Yeah, she did.
Tackled him on stage.
Yep. And she eventually, at the end of the movie, made it to Vietnam, where she conducted an orchestra for a video game convention. Basically is how I saw that.
Monster Hunter. It's a fairly famous video game.
Oh, cool. And that's like the rough overview of that. Before I get into my thoughts, actually, do you want to say anything about that first? That's just the plot.
That is the plot. My initial response, I cut myself short while she was saying it, but I haven't watched this movie in 2.5 years, and it's one of my 5 out of 5 star reviews, which will make this difficult for Molly to explain, because I view this movie as perfect. So...
And that is wild to me.
I enjoyed it because the message at the start is separate art from the artist, and she has like a whole tirade about that with a student who's like, I don't want to perform Bach because he was this guy, and she's like, shut up.
Yeah, basically.
And preach. She should have won the Oscar for that monologue. Her hallucinations and anxiety were definitely around the fact that her past was catching up to her at the peak of her career.
Yep. So before I fully get into more stuff, I wanted to say some awards it won. It was nominated but didn't win any Academy Awards. Cate Blanchett won a Golden Globe for Best Actress in 2023, and then it won multiple awards from the Indiana Film Journalists Association, London Film Critics Circle, New York Film Critics Circle, and then also the Los Angeles Film Critics Association. Mike, am I missing any awards there? Do you have any?
I don't think so.
So now to get into my overall thoughts.
Hit me with your star rating.
Oh shit! What did I say was Kiki's?
3.5.
I'll go 2.5. In the sense where I would rather watch Kiki's again than this movie.
Yeah, this
but
movie's so good.
if you are a like really high like movie person, I would probably tell you to go watch it. Like I had a bestie who loved movies just as much as Mike, if not more, because he studied it. And if he didn't see this movie, I'd be shocked, and I would probably tell him to go watch it. But I would not want to watch it with him.
Okay.
So I'm so sorry, Mike. So the way that I go about this is I have my thoughts, main themes, and what it made me think about, and then words I had to look up while watching, and then stupid thoughts I had while watching, because that's probably my favorite category. So my overall thoughts, I said, first I noticed that they had acknowledgements first, but then they also had them at the end too, so I was like, why'd they have both? I looked it up later, and it kind of had to do with like some of the main themes, I guess. Like they had it because, you know, the movie is way more than just who you see on the screen. It's everyone behind the scenes. And like the main character really didn't understand that. That's how I interpreted it after watching. I thought it was cool. I had to like recheck.
My disclaimer that this is a 5 out of 5 really just cements my position on all of these thoughts. But
Yeah.
Continue.
Yep. I had to check my screen to make sure I didn't like skip anything. I also didn't set the scene. I watched this in my basement with my sister's boyfriend playing video games, occasionally looking up and being like, whoa, what's happening? And then I would have to like pause it and explain. And so in the very beginning, there was a very long interview with Lydia, and I did think, honestly, it was like boring. And I was like, girl, the entire thing kind of felt like a documentary about this person, except this is not a real person, this is a person played by Kate. But I actually really liked it. It seemed all very real. And I'm so smart because I thought that the interview would reflect what would happen in the movie. I was like, if this is happening for so long, then some of the stuff that she's going to talk about is like gonna reflect onto her life. And I was right in my opinion. My background is I've only taken 2 lessons of conducting. I can do a simple pattern. You know, I can lead a group. And I really like that they didn't explain anything about any of the musical terms. Like, it literally wasn't even important. Like, when her wife was like, they were talking about me or like, they were looking at me in my sectional. Like, before I did music, I had no idea what a sectional was. And they didn't even explain that. And I was like, period. I was like, cool. My main thought on Lydia is when she said, you must stand in front of the public and God and obliterate yourself. Yeah, I think that's fucking insane. Talking about being a conductor and doing that. I mean, it is very nerve-wracking being in front of a group and being their leader and leading them through this, and you have a very important job. I'm not saying you don't, but using like and God and obliterate your, like, get off your high horse. I literally was like, girl. And I love Kate.
The point is that she's pretentious.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Like, and I'm fine with that.
I do have one piece of information that might sway your vote or
What's
rating. All of the music was performed live.
That's very cool. I might bump it up to a 3. See, guys, I'm terrible at ranking stuff because in my mind it shouldn't be in the same playing field as Kiki's. Not because Kiki's doesn't deserve it, not because this movie doesn't deserve it.
Because they're 2 very different movies.
Exactly. But because I've only, you know what I mean? I don't know if that made sense. Overall, I just mainly thought it was boring, but not in the same way that it was boring as Kiki's. It was just so long and, in my opinion, for no reason. It just felt like we were following her all the time. And certain stuff was unanswered. Again, I was really proud of myself because I was able to understand what was going on. And her relationship with her assistant, I actually think, so in the movie, you guys, she has an assistant who does like so much for her, and she knows about a lot of stuff too. And then there's an assistant conductor or like a second conductor from this orchestra. She's trying to boot him out. And I guess some people think that she's going to replace this guy with her assistant. And she tells her assistant, like, come up with a list of people, you can put your name in the ring. But then later she's like, I'm going to give it to someone else. And then after that,
because she was grooming Olga.
And then after that, her assistant leaves. You think that she would give Olga that position? But she said she was going to give it to some other dude.
She'll say things and not do them.
True. Either way.
Francesca left to stab her in the back.
Yeah. And I fully support Francesca leaving. But if I was Francesca, I would have not expected to get that position. Because why would, like, an assistant do that? I just feel like she didn't deserve it anyway. And I don't support if she was going to give Olga that, obviously. But I was just like, huh. I did think it was a really unexpected move that Francesca just out and left. And you saw her, like, freaking out about her assistant dipping. And I feel like that's when the decline started to happen. She was like, crap. Because her assistant also knew what was going on with her and that student. And that everyone found out about. So that was a good, like, turning point where I was like, dang. On to main themes and what it made me think about. I really liked... This is something I learned and thought about afterwards. I did like it because it was very thought-provoking. I looked up a lot of different perspectives on this last night, and I liked how in the interview she was talking about when you're being a conductor, you're being a leader of time, and you get to manipulate that. That's all your own thing that you get to do. At the very end of the movie, even though she doesn't go to jail, and I don't get that, she's still doing what she's passionate about, but... At the very end of the movie, I said she does music for a video game convention. And so, literally, like, the last 30 seconds, this dude hands her headphones. And you can, like, hear, like, a ticking. Like I said, she doesn't like ticking. But also, when you are conducting with, you know, screens now and everything, you have to be in line with those screens. So she was really being controlled. And she really wasn't keeping her own time anymore. And that... probably in her mind was like her biggest punishment. She was no longer super cool and artistic anymore because she couldn't do any of that. So I thought that was really cool and really symbolic. And honestly, that's probably the reason why I would bump it up to a 3, just because like that's kind of wild. Another thing like Mike mentioned was another theme was like to not limit your perception of people's work by their personal life. She tries to teach this kid Max. In the beginning, he doesn't like listening to Bach.
We deserve each other, me and Bach.
Because of Bach's past. But I think it basically happens to her. People are limiting their perception of her by her personal life, and she gets outcasted and has to leave, and everyone hates her. So it's very a weird balance there. And I have more thoughts on the Bach conversation later on. That was really interesting. I think that she was very good as a conductor and everything.
Actress.
And an actress, of course. I don't know if I feel the same way about this role as I feel about Galinda. I just don't think it was that interesting that it deserved anything, not because she wasn't good at it, but because it wasn't interesting.
The ending, when she was in Vietnam and walked past the massage parlor, and the owner pretty much was like, which one would you like? Number 5?
Yeah, for real, number 5!
And then you're like, oh my god, she's throwing up in an alley.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't have Mahler's number 5.
Yeah, for real.
And she's fucking crashing out hard.
I heard another opinion say that in that scenario, it's kind of like she was almost being allowed to be who she was, which is like a predator, just with no like veil this time. Like she can't hide it. They were really like, which one do you want?
Yeah, they were like, pick a woman.
Yeah.
And she was like, bleh.
I guess some of the stuff just felt unnecessary. I think that's my biggest qualm with it.
Remember when she heard the beeping at her neighbors, and it was like the old lady was dying?
That is another example. What the fuck?
She heard beeping and had to become human.
Yeah, like what
instead of being the robot.
I was gonna mention the word robot later. What? Can you explain what was happening there with the old lady? With the.
She heard the beeping of the machine from her apartment, and as you said, beeping is one of her pet peeves and drives her nuts.
Yeah, she was like,
and she went to go look and see what was up and like make it stop.
Yeah.
And the neighbor is an elderly woman, and the daughter was there trying to like save her mom's life, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because the beeping was her at-home hospital bed, like, coding. And that was when Tar had to be like, alright, I gotta set aside my pet peeve and save a person's life right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back to my pet peeves.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
It is involved because it's like she has the capacity to be a caring human being, but prefers to be the cold, distant composer.
Yeah. I thought I had more words, but I guess the only 2 words I had to look up while watching. Number 1, galumphing. It means moving in a clumsy or noisy manner. I will be using that. As well as pastiche, which is an artistic work in a style that imitates that of another artwork, or of another work in the art world. And I said something else. Okay, of another work. I just thought, I've never heard that word before, pastiche, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, they just, like, threw that out. I already told you, I think, would I watch it again? No. Mainly because if I wanted to watch some of, like, my favorite scenes, I could probably find it. I would rather do that instead of watch the whole thing. Love you, Mike. And, like I said, if I would recommend it to anyone, it would only be for diehard movie people. I will say, I am pleased to know that it exists, and I like how...
I thought you'd like it because it was music.
Well, I do, and I like how it's showing someone so...
involved.
In it, and showing classical music like that, because the classical music world isn't...
big.
Sunshine and rainbows, I was gonna say.
Or as big
It's
as
full of people
other.
that are just like her.
Yeah.
I'm going to meet people that are just like I know and am going to meet, and I'm not excited for that. I am going to move on to stupid thoughts I had while watching, or quotes I noted. Number 1, the Bach rant with Max. I actually agree with her. I think you should listen to Bach. And fun fact, my college jazz professor, he loves him. And Bach really did...
Why doesn't he marry him?
He really did write the foundation of a lot of different music today. And a lot of, like, not music, I'll say, like, melody lines and how to write music. And some of it slaps. And I do agree with her that I didn't even know... Were they at Juilliard or something? And you don't listen to Bach? Like, that would never happen.
Yeah.
Also, I was like, Max, get a hold of yourself.
It was Gen Z, dog.
I don't like how she was an absolute bitch to him and all that stuff, but she was in the right. A quote from the movie where Lydia said, "It's not a democracy." That's just funny to me. She was talking to Petra, because Petra wanted her to play with her bears, and she wanted all of them to conduct at the same time, and so she was like, "It's not a democracy." That's just really funny because the choir director from the choir I'm in says that all the time. She's like, "Nope, guys, it's not a democracy." Like, she's she's the leader, so it's just her. And I thought that was funny. Another quote, she tells her assistant, after her assistant does something really awesome for her, and then she, like, brushes her off, and she's like, well, where's the matcha? Shouting out my sister there, who loves matcha.
I hate matcha.
I think it's disgusting.
It tastes like a pine tree.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I just thought it was really funny. She was like, where's my matcha? I was like, oh my god. Like, she sounded just like my sister there.
And you were like, girly pop, show some respect.
Yeah. When she pushed Elliot off the stage, honestly, that was so unexpected. I honestly didn't think that she would do that. Wanting them to start playing after that was crazy.
Yeah, she was like, I'm back. Get back to it. And they're like, you're nuts.
Wow. I really like I really like that scene. Another good scene was Apartment for Sale, where she was screaming that with the accordion. I thought that was really funny. That was one of the only times where I was like, wow, she is funny. Where after that woman lived next door died, her family was like, can you, like, let us know what times you practice so we can schedule other things around it? And then she, like, shut the door in her face and then started playing her accordion really loud. I love accordion, so I was like, period. That was, like, so funny for what? One thing that I did note was that I feel like Lydia wears the same outfit the entire time. Mm-hmm. And if not, it's the same outfit with different colors.
The costume design is intentional, wearing a lot of neutrals because she's supposed to be this bland person, besides music.
See, that makes sense. And I support that. It was filled with intention. I just noted that because I really don't like her. I did like how... I think Kate did really well because I didn't like her, and she really did that, you know what I mean? The word robot was mentioned a lot. Like, I didn't even look that up. I wrote robot down. I was like, this is like the 10th time she's used... You're such a robot! It seems Lydia used it as an insult for someone who lacked artistry. She eventually became one in the end because she was now being controlled by time and really not being allowed to use her full artistic words. So I thought that was wild that I caught that. Why didn't she just tell her wife that she was taking her meds? Because she was taking her wife's blood pressure medication, and I looked it up, and apparently this, if it was like that could have been causing her like bad dreams and hallucinations, perhaps, but you don't fully know. And that's the next question, like, why was she having the nightmares? Like, did those go away after? Like, where's she at with that?
Anxiety and panic.
Yeah. And then my last question is, where the hell was Olga when that dog was attacking her? She drops off Olga to her home, and then Olga forgot something in her car, and so she was not that far away. She totally would have been able to hear her calling out her name, but she didn't. So she went to go follow her, and then she basically got into this weird situation where a dog attacked her. She was right there. Like, but do you like have any questions for me? Like, do you wanna end the episode? Do you wanna tell me about Lilo and Stitch 2?
I watched Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch.
Yeah.
At work. Because I had nothing better to do and it was raining. I gave it initially a 2.5 out of 5.
Wow.
But I'll get to why I raised it to a 3. So, first off, surprisingly, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Hell yeah.
It still feels like a direct-to-video sequel, which it was.
Yep.
But can be argued it could have had a theatrical release. It wouldn't have done nearly as well as the first one, but it would have had some sort of traction with fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still had fun with it, but you just can't top the original.
Nope.
They brought the watercolor backdrop concept back, which I appreciated. I was really upset when Stitch hid under the bed like a sad dog. And then he had a montage of trying to be good again, where he was like, I'm filling in the chart. He's like, I am good.
Yes.
And then he's a real one, because he really did that for like 5 minutes at the end of the movie.
Mm.
I was like, yeah, they definitely, you knew it was coming the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Jumba gave all the exposition as to why it's happening, you were like, okay. That is my biggest flaw with the movie. Why didn't Jumba start with mentioning that Stitch was incomplete in the first movie?
Yeah, for real. Dude, you're so right about that.
They
actually
waited until he was a problem in the second one, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, this dude is like not genetically complete and he's slowly dying.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Oh, we should have said spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
The movie's been out for so long.
Okay, and you haven't seen Twilight.
That's fine.
Continue.
I don't care about spoilers from those movies.
Okay.
like, my problem was it wasn't Stitch reverting to being bad the entire movie. It was his body decomposing. My biggest remark was, wouldn't anyone be aggressive in that situation?
True.
Like, I'm fucking dying. Pleakley is a drag queen, confirmed. My scathing review portion is I, a 25-year-old adult male, would still hit Myrtle with a hammer because her parents are probably manipulators and that's why she acts the way she does.
Myrtle, redhead, glasses?
Yes.
Agreed.
So initially I had it at like the 2.7-ish range. Then the Junkie XL needle drop, which is like the remix of Little Less Conversation. When that came in, I was like, they actually put good music in this, and then it raised it to a 3.0.
Let's go.
Like, I wasn't expecting Disney to be like, yo, you know this DJ? Let's use his version of an Elvis song for Lilo's montage of getting ready for the hula. And I was like, dang. Like, watching it at work, I immediately typed in my review, initially this amount, but immediate increase for the needle drop.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I feel like the subplot with David was kind of unnecessary.
You want to remind the listeners what that was?
For those that have seen it or haven't, the subplot in Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch, David feels that Nani does not love him.
Yeah. It's giving Frozen 2.
Yeah, like he's like the Kristoff of Lilo and Stitch 2.
Yeah, like suddenly.
Well, the other way around. Kristoff is the David of Frozen 2.
Yes.
But, the fact that Pleakley joined in and was like, I'm going to be the matchmaker. It felt unneeded.
That was giving Mushu Mulan 2.
Sure. I didn't watch it.
Don't.
I'll watch the first one any day.
I want to kill Mushu in Mulan 2. I want him to not exist. That's how shitty.
But it's Eddie Murphy.
He's like the... Spoiler alert, he's basically... I consider him the villain of Mulan 2. He is the reason why everything goes to shit. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Dishonor on your cow.
But yeah, don't watch Mulan 2.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm so sorry.
There was no, like, real connection to, like, the OG Galactic Federation in the second movie. Like, they didn't touch on the Grand Master lady or Captain Guntu existing.
Poor guy.
Which, live-action remake,
Bitches.
you know my hate. Like, Jumba's arc was fine. He felt like delayed reaction, like a whole movie delayed reaction, where he's like, Stitch is broken and it's my fault. Sorry. And then everyone was like, Jumba, you dick.
Yeah,
Like,
Jumba, come on.
my boy's dying. He's hiding under the bed like a dog.
Jumba's a silly goose.
Lilo was willing to die in the first 5 minutes of the movie. She was like, Stitch, if you're still good, you'll catch me falling to my death off of her bed. And she was like actually high enough to get hurt.
Yeah, Lilo, you silly girl. Did you cry?
No.
Dang. Did you want to?
No.
Dang.
I knew it was coming.
That was my only question. Other than another one that I just came up
I knew it was
with
coming,
right now.
but I was like, dang, that is actually like, I can see where people would cry, but I did not. I was like, oh, he came back. What a twist.
Yeah. Are you happy that you saw it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like, it was fun. It feels like, I wouldn't say an epilogue, but it feels like a supplemental to the first one. Like, you can watch it if you want. It's fun. But, like, the first one's the one that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you rate the first, like, Lilo
4.5.
4.5. Okay. Cool.
The 0.5 is because I've seen it so many times that I know it. But the 4.5 is because it's good.
Yeah. Deservingly so. Cool.
Hawaiian roller coaster ride, never change.
Banger.
Mele no Lilo, never change.
True. I think it is cute enough that if you really like the first one, which you do, you should see it. And then also, I just think it would be funny if I made you see it, so.
I would argue the first one has a sadder scene. When Nani and Lilo are on the hammock.
Oh, absolutely.
The night before she's supposed to be taken away by CPS. And you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then in the live action, they were like, Ohana means family. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to marine biology school in continental United States. But I have a portal gun.
So
It's so
annoying.
nonsensical. But apparently, it swept the box office.
Did.
Because
Everyone loves Stitch.
Disney marketing slop fans were like,
Well, Disney puts Stitch on everything. like
Well, that too, yeah.
at Walt Disney World, even when this wasn't a thing.
I got our
everywhere.
unnamed friend an Angel travel mug.
Mm-hmm.
The pink female Stitch variant.
I have
pretty
an
much.
Angel plush.
Cool.
I got our unnamed friend a Stitch wallet.
I've seen that wallet. We saw it on Monday.
Yes, it's really good actually. But no, for most of their rides, like a great example of this is Tower of Terror at Disney's Hollywood Studios. You can find Stitch merch there. He has nothing to do with the Twilight Zone. And there's merch with like pins, pillows, t-shirts, stuffies of him in like the hotel-esque outfit, and it's just like, in my opinion, it's unnecessary. I'm like, but I do think he's super cute though. At the Polynesian Resort, they have a breakfast place called Ohana, and you can meet him there, and that's super cute. So
I have a picture of you meeting Stitch on my phone.
He does.
My
Okay.
final note about any Lilo and Stitch property is bring back the dryer cut. Get rid of that pizza box shit. Lilo was in the dryer, okay? She wasn't hiding behind a pizza box.
I get why they took it away though.
Because it's unsafe to be in a dryer.
Exactly.
It also came out in like 2002. Get over it.
Yeah, I know.
Disney, do us justice and bring back the dryer cut.
Do Mike justice.
Bring everyone justice.
I'm a safety begins with me girl. I'm sorry. And I know that if I saw...
A kid in a dryer, you'd say, "What up, dude?"
Well, no. I know that if I saw that and I know if I saw that and was a little bit more competent, I would have put myself in a dryer. Like, I totally would have. I'm really surprised that I haven't. I'm still alive. Let's go.
I think the pizza box was cowardice.
I do think it's weird that she would hide behind a pizza box. Like, I feel like...
Why is there a pizza box next to the washing machine?
Yeah, I feel like they should have covered it up with something better.
The box for the washing machine. How about that?
True. I don't like Lilo and Stitch 2 as much as...
You're not supposed
Like,
to.
Yeah, so... Okay. So now it's time to dig on this.
Now dig on this. Would you like to do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes second?
Yes. Bam, 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 bam.
Dang, she didn't do paper this time.
Rock, yeah. What's my assignment, Mike?
Your assignment is a movie.
Whoa.
It has a strong 4.7 out of 5. I've only seen it once. It is better than Tar. It is Richard Linklater's Before Sunrise.
Oh! We talked about this
It's
before.
very good.
I was supposed to watch it with someone.
You weren't supposed to. It was an option.
I really wanted to, actually. I really wanted to watch this movie like a year ago.
It is a trilogy.
Yes.
So, watching the first one, you might want to borrow the other two, because I do own all 3 on Blu-ray.
And I probably will.
The third
So-
one's very upsetting, but in a good way. I think you will enjoy it a lot.
I think I will too.
I don't want to say why.
That's okay. I think I will too.
It is
And I don't
so
even know why.
good.
Sorry. From what you've said when we've talked about it in the past, I think I will like it, but you'll find out next episode. Mike,
What's my dig on this?
your assignment this week is Control by SZA. He was telling me
Yes! Oh my god.
earlier
Okay.
that he listened to.
Lana.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
loved
actually
it.
not really into that one yet, but that's because I'm a hardcore Control SOS girl, and I think it's really good.
It is.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Gonna
Actually, it really got me through sophomore year of it really got me through sophomore year of college. Some really good songs in there. I don't know if it'll fully be your vibe compared to Lana. I think SZA is similar but different, so it's really hard to tell how you're gonna like it or not.
Shit.
Oh, wait, I never said to comment down below if you think that Electric Light Orchestra or Queen would get in a fight. But I don't know any of the actual members from Electric Light Orchestra. So let's put Freddie Mercury up against a gigantic spaceship. Who do you think would win? Comment down below.
The answer is Freddie Mercury because it's June and Pride Month and
Yes!
he's gay. If we didn't say it, we would get cancelled.
That's all. Well, that's it. I'm actually really excited. So let's go. But now it's time for our one song spotlight.
Yeah.
Mine, for my one song spotlight, I chose a song that I've only heard technically twice, but I'm going to say once in its entirety. When I was in London at a breakfast place I took my family to at 9 a.m., I heard the song and I had to whip out my phone and be like, what is this song? And then I found it. The name of the song is Trick, Tric, with an exclamation mark, and it's by Sissy Street. All I know about them is that they are a French funk jazz group, and it's like 6 minutes of just like, and it's awesome. But yeah, I really enjoyed it in the moment, and I just thought I should share that because I get nervous sometimes when I travel that I won't pick up music from there. And like right when we got to France, I heard What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers, and that was great, but I was really hoping to find something like this. Sissy Street, that whole album that this song is in, I think I might really like it. But I don't know yet, so I'll find out. But hopefully maybe you guys will listen to this and maybe it's your vibe. I think Mike will like it. Mike, what's yours?
My single song spotlight this week is Alaska by Maggie Rogers. She ran a draft of this song by Pharrell Williams in a recording.
Yes! Sorry, I just looked up a photo of her.
And he was like, do not touch this song, release it now.
Is that the one that's from like that famous video? There's one of him like sitting in with her and then he's like, dude, this is like perfect. Is that it?
Yeah.
I support you. Oh my gosh.
It's a very good song. I would say she's similar to Ethel Cain in terms of vibe, but Maggie Rogers is a little bit more upbeat.
Well, that was our 5th episode.
Yeah.
Mike, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, check back in our Instagram. We're also fully active on Facebook now.
Woo!
So I found out how to link the two. So I'm tech savvy. Our reviews from both of the movies we talked about in this episode are both on Letterboxd. So if you want, I'm gonna probably put all my thoughts and maybe even more this time in there if you want to try and understand my mind. And Mike's review is in there too, and he's really good at writing his true thoughts. I'm more of like confused all the time. So if we have any recommendations for artists we should listen to or movies we should watch, as always, comment down below or message us directly. We would love some interaction there, but we would love some ideas too.
We know you're listening, Joe.
Yeah. Whoa.
He's a dog. He listens to every episode.
Let's go. Thank you, Joe. Joe, comment down below. Give us something. All right.
Hey.
You have anything else you want to say?
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys, for what? Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, guys.
And in case I don't see you,
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.